It's a hot one today, huh?
It is a hot one, dude.
That's such a motherfucking
I like it.
That shit tryna fuck with me on the team on the beat. Hey, bitch, I'm King Tut. Switch lanes, tell him beast up. We up. 100 on the dash, tell her keep up. Attitude on a couple thou, I just feast up. You Mysterio, my pockets on Batista. Bitch, shopping all day like a trick. I wish a nigga would, bitch, you smoking hot dick ass Rick. Number one stunner like Mitch. Baby, tell me I'm the man, I forget. Why this nigga rap now, he never did a skit. Niggas act sick, but ain't never active. Coney trapping, Felony make a nigga back.
Alright, bro.
Alright, we're live, huh?
Whenever you're ready.
Alright. Alright, name of this song is The Ballad of the Chili Sock. Alright, here we go. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. It's all the same sock. Boot cup full of nut shit, chili, what can I say? Ain't got a different sock for each and every day. Oh no, it's all the same sock. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. It's all the same sock. Remember first time that my mom found my poop sock. Ground for a week, no beating my meat, no chili sock, and nothing to eat. Oh no, no, it's all the same sock. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. Cum sock, poop sock, chili sock, it's all the same sock. It's all the same sock.
That was
That's
fucking crazy. That was actually crazy. Like, honestly, like, out of this world crazy. Yeah, dude, I didn't know you had that in you.
Neither did I till it happened, dude.
Really? I thought you were literally just like fucking jump on a banjo, fuck around. Like, I didn't know you made songs that good. Like, that's a really good song, dude. Cum sock, chili sock is all the same.
It's the same sock, dude.
Cum sock, poop sock,
Poop sock, chili sock.
What's
Yeah.
chili mean?
Like chili. It's like you put chili into a sock and you eat it out of the sock, like with a spoon or like, you know, like a pastry kind of deal. I mean, ultimately the sock is just a vessel for the chili.
Why? Why would anyone do that?
I mean, it's just very convenient, dude.
Really?
And then you already have the poop/cum sock by the bed at all time. Why not just also make it a bowl of chili too, by making it the chili sock? I mean, why would anyone come in a sock in the first place?
To beat off?
So,
Right?
by the same merit, the chili sock is to eat chili.
Okay, yeah, no, right off the back, what do you mean by you said chili sock, poop sock? Like, why eat chili? Okay, why eat chili from a sock? Why? Why not just from the can it came in?
Well, I mean, chili doesn't always come from a can, dude.
Where does it come from?
I mean, sometimes you've got a homemade chili that is out of the pot. I'm talking like a big pot of homemade chili. So sometimes, you know, sink's full of dishes, there's no vessel for the chili, and the sock's the best option. I mean, it's really just more of an analogy. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know how many of us actually keep a cum sock or a poop sock or even a chili sock for that matter by the bedside. It's meant to provoke questions, you know? Like, that's the whole point of the song is, well, what is a chili sock? But really the concept is simple. It's just the vessel for the chili. Now, if you're asking me if I've ever actually eaten chili out of a sock, yeah, I have. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have eaten chili out of a sock.
Why?
Because it's the same sock. Look, I don't expect you to adopt this philosophy overnight, but you really only need one pair of socks to wear, to come into, to poop into, and to eat your chili out of.
Why shit in a sock when you can just go shit in the grass somewhere in a field? Or like in the dirt somewhere? Or like in a hole, or like on a beach, or like in the ocean? Like, why in a sock? I feel like that's hard.
Have you ever?
Shit in a sock? No.
Yeah. So, why suck another dude's dick? You know?
Because they want to do that.
You're right. It really is like an individual thing. Like, there's not two people in question here. Look, dude. I mean, these are big questions, and I think I'm too little of a man to answer them. It's just it's a song made for enjoyment.
I enjoyed myself right there, dude. I really did. That was dope as fuck. So then process of elimination. This means you definitely have came in a sock. You 1000% have came in a sock.
I mean, dude, it's probably more of a question of what I have not came in at one point in my life. You know? Like, as a young adolescent male.
Have you came in like a soda can? Or like a water jug? Or a shoebox?
None of the above. No, just a sock. Women, obviously. Amongst other things.
Are you allowed to answer how many women you've came inside?
Yeah, if that's what you want to know. Came inside. 6.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty a respectable number. I'm not looking for number 1, number 2, but number 6.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That's solid, bro. And I've said this on a previous podcast, and I still have the same number, but I've never came inside somebody.
You've never came inside somebody?
No.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because I thought you were basically asking me how many women I've had sex with, because I've came in every single woman I've ever had sex with. But I've also had sex with every girl I've ever had sex with more than once, too.
Yeah.
So it helps with that. Damn, dude. It hits different.
That's what everybody says. Well, actually, one person was like, "Yo, like, keep doing your laser. Like, it's not a life-changing experience." And I was like, "All right, bro. Like, I fuck with you. Thank you."
It's not. It's funny to me. This is how the podcast is starting. But I remember
I wasn't expecting it to start like this.
I remember one time I was seeing this girl. It was like maybe the second or third time we had sex, and like I'm about to come, and like she whispers in my ear like, "Oh, fill me with your cum, daddy." And I was like, "Oh!" and I busted right there, dude. And like I don't really have a daddy kink, but at that moment in time, the stars aligned, and it was cosmic, dude. I mean, definitely keep doing your thing. You don't have a child right now, so you're obviously doing it right, but neither do I. So,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, for me, it's just more like don't get me wrong. One day I will do it, guaranteed.
Like you prefer to pull out and bust on the butt or in the face.
Yeah, there's just other places to do it, and like honestly, like the biggest thing is 1000% the child factor.
The child factor.
The child factor. That's a life changing thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, like just get a sock too. You know, keep it by the bedside and keep it ready, and just fucking right there, sock on the dick. It's basically a condom, dude.
Really? I feel like I wouldn't want to come in a sock either.
I mean,
cause that shit's like rough, bro. Like this shit's like this doesn't feel good. Like this isn't like warm lubricated skin. You know what I mean? It's like hard bristly cotton.
if it was filled with chili though, it'd be a different story,
Ooh, okay.
right?
Have you came in a chili filled sock?
No, dude.
Okay.
Like, I'll be real with you, bro. It's a song, dude.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
have a chili sock, bro. I wish I did, but
Okay.
I'm domesticated.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not that primal.
Dude, it's dope, bro, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been around here for a while, right? You're from here.
Pretty much, yeah. So my family moved over here when I was in 5th grade. So I was like 10 or 11 years old. And we moved from the Midwest, Indianapolis. And I feel like I have this vague memory that you're from the Midwest too, or out east, right?
No, I'm from Cali.
You're from Cali?
I'm from Cali.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were all living in Indianapolis, me and my little brother and my little sister at the time. I was the oldest of 3 children, and it was right after the economic collapse, and then my grandmother had passed away in a car accident, and
Snap.
my dad was like, well, dude, Indianapolis, it fucking sucks here. Like, the Colts weren't doing that good. There was really nothing keeping us there, and at the time, my mom had gotten herself into some trouble with some bad people and was doing drugs in Indianapolis. So my dad was like, dude, let's just get out of here. And so we packed all of our stuff up in our Volvo station wagon and took off out west with no plan, basically. And then after like 3 or 4 weeks, we ended up in this area and stayed. And I guess I've been here ever since. But it was a wild trip, bro, for sure. It was definitely like a cool life experience. Within the first 24 hours, we had packed our cat, our dog, and our hamster into the car, and the cat had gone into the hamster cage and killed the hamster. And it's about 2 a.m. We're driving on the highway through Illinois, I think that's the state to the left of Indiana. And my dad wakes me up and he's like, Isaac, we got to take care of this, dude. And we went and buried the hamster at a truck stop in my brother's t-shirt. And that kicked off the trip, dude. And then from there we went through the Black Hills of South Dakota, into Yellowstone, and we spent a couple weeks in Yellowstone with our animals too, which is crazy when you think about it. You can bring dogs and cats into the national park, or at least you used to be able to. And then kept driving west and eventually like hit California and wound up here. We had a few relatives, and I mean, dude, we were homeless for a few months when we moved here. We were living in the campsites in Morro Bay and on the beach and in the golf course, and then we also lived in the Motel 6 for a few weeks too. But to my dad's credit, I never felt like I was homeless at any point in my life. But he got the job at Cal Poly because he's a locksmith. That's what he's always done. And then it's a great job, so we decided to stay. And then, yeah, I went to elementary school here, starting in 5th grade, and I've stayed here ever since.
Dude, that's dope, bro, because in a way, and I don't even know you, that's the thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, all of this is just vibe and energy that I, like, potentially feel, you know, but you seem like you made it. You know what I mean? Like, you just...
Like, I've already made it.
You made it, bro.
I did.
Your life seems successful. It looks like didn't you just graduate from somewhere and you have a job and you have a degree, or you're in school, you're in college?
I am in school. So I have my associate's degree in business administration, and I got accepted to Cal Poly for this upcoming semester in business admin. And yeah, and my dad does work at Cal Poly, so that was definitely a factor in me getting in. But I will say I worked really hard this last year because I'm 24 now. I think I'm a year older than you, or just about. I'll be 25 in October.
What day in October?
21st.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if you say October 16th, I'm walking out.
Is that your birthday, bro?
No, but it's fucking like 9 other people's. I'm not even joking. I just had someone on the podcast that was born on October 16th.
No shit.
My roommate's October 16th.
Evan?
I know at least one mom who's October 16th, and I know like 3 to 4 more people that's October 16th. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. But sorry, that was random.
No, you're good. Where was I? So yeah, I'm almost 25 now, and it took me quite a bit of time to get my associate's degree. You know, I went to Cuesta when I graduated from SLO High in 2015, and then a lot of fucking around and dropping out and thinking I wanted to be a mechanic and finding out that's not what I wanted to do. And I moved up to Humboldt for a year too, chasing a girl, and then ultimately this last year was just the most productive year of my life because I got 40 units done over the course of a year, and I think I had only gotten like 25 done the previous 4. So
you graduated from SLO High?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't go to Morro Bay High School?
I did go to Morro Bay High School up until my sophomore year. And then my sophomore year, I went on independent studies. And then when I must have been 17 years old, I got arrested for smoking hash down at the Canoes, like near First Street in Los Osos. And at the time, hash was still a felony, so I got felony charges for possession of hashish and had to go and spend a couple nights in juvie. And at the time, I wasn't talking to my dad. I was living with my girlfriend, and spent a couple nights in juvie, and then my dad picks me up. First time I'd seen him in about a month, and then next thing I know, I'm on a plane up to Montana to go and live with my rich friend's mom, basically. And
just you and her?
And my rich friend, Aaron. You might know Aaron.
Aaron
Perry.
Dude, I've heard of that name before.
Well, he had gotten in trouble when he was a little bit younger and ended up moving to Montana. His mom bought a house up there in California, and I'm not, exactly sure on the specifics of this law, but when you're a minor, if you get a felony charge that's nonviolent, you can flee the state and hire an attorney and basically say that your parents are doing their own rehabilitation program and that you're not going to go through the state of California's court system. And that's what my dad did for me with the help of Aaron's mom. So instead of going to court and facing these felony charges, I went and lived with Aaron in Montana. And it was, the funny thing is it was supposed to be a punishment. It was not a punishment. Lori, Aaron's mom, had just built this house in this brand new neighborhood, a beautiful 3-bedroom house, like exposed ceiling with the wooden logs for support beams. It was like a wooden cabin style deal. She bought me it was only a couple years old, a Toyota FJ Cruiser. and that was my car when I lived.
She bought you a car?
She bought me a car. That was my car when I lived. I didn't get to keep it when I left, but it was my car while I was there. And ended up going to high school in Montana for a semester. And the only stipulation was that I had to attend Narcotics Anonymous classes. And that was kind of funny because it's like I showed up to NA meetings, and, you know, how it works at Narcotics Anonymous, just like an AA meeting, is you introduce yourself. You're like, hi, I'm Laser. I'm an addict. And that's the first thing you always say. You have to admit you're an addict. And even guys that have been sober 30, 40 years, that's also how they introduce themselves. But it was just a little bit ironic because I was in like the far north of Montana at Narcotics Anonymous classes, and all the guys that I was there with were ex-Hell's Angels and meth heads and like serious drug addicts. So I guess I didn't really fit in all that well because I was like, yeah, I'm Isaac. I'm an addict. I smoked some weed and got caught, and here I am now. And it actually ended up being like a really positive thing for me in the end. Like, it's funny how that works. Like, I'm really glad that I had to go through that whole system because it definitely like helped me understand like addiction and what it is. And like I grew up having to deal with that because my mom was and still is a drug addict, and that's why my family decided to leave Indiana in the first place, was to try and escape all of that.
Did your mom come with you?
Yeah, from Indianapolis, my mom did come with me. Yeah, my dad and my mom were never married. It's funny to think about because by the time my dad was my age, he had 2 sons, me and my little brother Rowan, and my mom was pregnant again with Eva, my little sister, and they were never married, and they were off and on for basically my whole childhood. And then after her mom passed away, that's when we decided that we were going to leave the States, and she came with us, and we tried to run away and escape those problems. But you know, you can't really run away from stuff like that, and drugs and bad people exist in every square inch of the United States.
True.
You know?
True. That's so much information to absorb. You started in Morro Bay High School, got a felony for some bullshit weed-related shit.
Yeah.
Left Morro Bay, went to SLO High or Montana first?
I went to Montana first. And that's why you brought this up. And so ultimately when I got back, I was working at my stepmom's candy store in Morro Bay, and became good friends with this girl, and she went to SLO High, and she's like, come to SLO High, I'll give you rides. And I ended up going there and graduating. And I'm really glad I did, because SLO High at the time was definitely a better school than Morro Bay. Like, they actually had funding and had an auto shop and like other electives. I definitely wasn't a big fan of Morro Bay High School.
Were we ever on the campus at the same time? I started in 2012.
2012?
As a freshman.
As a freshman? Then yeah, for like 4 or 5 months, because
you were a sophomore?
My sophomore year, yeah, the first semester I was up there. But dude, it's hard to even like bring back any memories from that time now. You know, it's just very selective what my brain has chosen to remember.
You were just doing your own thing?
Yeah. I also think like sophomore year is when I really started smoking a lot of pot. Obviously, that's when I got arrested for hash. And juvie was funny, dude, because I mean, obviously, like SLO juvenile hall like isn't where the big dogs roll around. Mm-hmm. But like I was still out of place there. Like they sat me down at a table, and
the kids.
Yeah, with the kids for sure. They sat me down at the table, kind of like this one. I was sitting around 4 other people, and they're like, "What are you in for?" And I'm like, "Concentrates." And the kid across from me is, "Well, weed or heroin?" And I'm like, "Weed, dude." And the kid across from me was in for, I don't know, 1 or 2 concentrates. And I'm like, "Weed or heroin?" And I'm like, "Weed, dude." And the kid across from me is, "Well, weed or heroin?" And I'm like, "Weed, dude." And the kid across from me was in for, I don't know, 1 or 2 concentrates. And I'm like, "Weed, dude." And the heroin. The other kid was in for methamphetamine. And then the dude sitting right next to me, his face was covered in tattoos, and he told me that he was in juvie for stabbing his dad.
To death?
No, just with a pair of scissors in the shoulder was his story. I remember this. He said he was half Mexican. His mom was Mexican. His dad was white, and his dad was a white racist. So he hated him, meaning his dad hated his own son because he was half Mexican. And this is the condensed short story from him. And he stabbed his dad with a pair of scissors and wound up in juvie in the same place I was. And I remember sitting at that table and then telling me, like, dude, you're going to be here for months, bro. No one comes here and leaves in a couple days. Like, you're in for the long haul. And I was like, fuck this place, bro. As I did not like it there. Being locked in any room for any amount of time is just, it's the worst, dude. Not being able to leave somewhere and, like, knowing you actually don't have freedom. But my dad came and picked me up, like, 24 hours after that. So I wasn't in there for long, maybe 48 hours total, if even.
Your dad was like, this is stupid.
Dude, my dad and me were at the we were at each other's throats because I was living with my girlfriend. The last time I had talked to my dad, we had actually gotten into a fight.
Fist fight?
It was physical. I don't really think it happened so fast. My dad wasn't hitting me, but it got down to the ground, and he was basically asking for my car keys because I had my provisional license at the time and I was driving people around. I mean, dude, I was such an asshole to my dad. Like,
you were?
Yeah, truly. Like, looking back on it, at the time I thought I was in the right and all my actions were justified, but that wasn't the case. And he's, give me your car keys. So I threw them in his face. Went down. I went down to the garage, grabbed his 9-iron out of his golf bag, and smashed out every single window on my car.
No.
Yeah.
You're hard.
No, I'm not. I'm stupid. And that was the last time I talked to him until I was arrested and he picked me up from juvie.
Why? What made you smash your windows?
I don't know, dude.
You were like,
I was like, oh, you want my car? It's yours. Take it. Take this too. And then I smashed the windows. Horrible decision. In the end, I had to end up paying for them when I got back from Montana and fixed the car and drove it again. But man, I was such a bad kid. And really, when you think about it too, like, dude, by the time my dad was my age, he already had 2 kids and another one on the way, had his own business, owned his own home. And it's like, I think of that and it's like, dude, I still feel like a kid in a lot of ways. I couldn't even imagine.
Right now?
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine having those kind of responsibilities.
Yeah, dude, I mean, the whole thing from, like, going, like the big thing that you did, in my opinion, in terms of, like, gaining experience is being in this area, going to Montana for a bit, and then, like, coming back. Like those are crucial years that so much was going on, like, in terms of, like, your environment and your surroundings, and just like literally, like, I know, like, you had to, and I mean the small shit too, like, you had to like, go register for classes at a high school in Montana, just like this small shit. And then you also had to do the same shit when going to SLO and stuff. Like, there's a lot going on in, like, a small, like, little, like, chunk. You know what I mean? I don't know, just the way I see it, it's like you were living You know, you were living, because some people live the very stagnant lifestyle where it's just like one thing the entire time. Like you're like you're bouncing around, you're fucking going to jail, you're bashing your fucking car, you're throwing your car keys in your dad's face saying fuck you, like you're chasing girls, you're going this way, that way, like you're coming back here, you're like, all right, like I'm gonna get a degree, I'm gonna go to Cal Poly, like, you know what I mean? Like that's dope, bro. You are experiencing life.
Yeah, well, it definitely took just kind of being out in the real world a little bit to like really know what I wanted in life. And I mean, obviously I've had it a lot better than a lot of other people, but I'm like really happy for all the bullshit that I experienced, because I mean, adversity just helps to build character.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, it's a trope, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm totally stoked on all the experiences in life that have made me into the person I am today. And I mean, I will say that like I was really lucky when I was younger, like ages from birth to 5. Like I really did have a loving family, and that's huge, like in that critical age range for development of a child. You know, and so I'm super grateful for that, and I'm really glad that happened, because then after that, all the bullshit that happened just, I think, made me a better person in the end. And yeah, the whole moving across the country experience was awesome. It's still like where a lot of the most fond memories from my childhood are. Here's another good story, dude. When we were rolling through like the western United States, I don't know where we were, dude. Like it was maybe the Dakotas, maybe even Wyoming, but we're out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and in our Volvo station wagon, and my dad's running out of gas. And like the situation is getting critical. We're about to be stranded on the side of the road, no cell phone reception. And it's late at night. It's dark as fuck out. It's midnight, and we pull up into this small ass town out of the middle of nowhere, and we drive up to the gas station that's there, and we tried to pump ourselves some gas from the station, because at least out in the West, like a lot of the gas stations work is you can pump your gas, and then you go in and pay for it after. But these pumps were locked, and the station was closed, and we were out of gas, so we weren't able to pump the gas, and we had to stay the night. And in the morning when we woke up, literally right next to the gas pumps, dude, I'm talking like 10, 15 feet, there's this huge metal cage, like probably the size of this garage, and barred. It's like a prison, and inside of it is fully matured adult grizzly bear.
No way.
Yeah.
And in the Midwest?
This was, dude, I'll never ever remember where this was. My best guess is probably like South Dakota, or a little bit before that, a little bit more east. And yeah, the gas station owner actually owned a grizzly bear too. And the funny thing is we were going to steal gas from this guy at the beginning of the night, you know, when we first rolled up there, and we were joking around like, well, thank God we didn't take this guy's gas, dude. He's got a fucking grizzly bear. Well, me and my dad and my little brother, there was a creek down, you know, a couple hundred feet. We walked down there for some reason. I can't remember exactly what we were doing. When we got back, my mom was in the cage with the grizzly bear, with my little sister and the gas station owner, and my mom fed the bear like an apple out of her mouth. It was like a Hollywood bear, bro. Like the bear had been in TV shows and movies.
That's
and shit.
crazy.
And like now was just living its life out in a cage by a gas station out in literally the middle of nowhere.
It probably doesn't want to do that, huh?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty happy.
Really?
It didn't maul my mom or my sister when they got into the cage.
We were like, Mom, stop.
My dad was not stoked.
Really?
My dad was not stoked on it, but He let it go pretty quick. Yeah, and then, I mean, we kept driving. Spent a couple weeks in Yellowstone. That was awesome, for sure. And then moseyed our way down here. And you pretty much know the whole story now.
I like that story. So you guys got gas, though?
In the morning, yeah.
Okay.
In the morning,
So you stayed the night, right,
we
right.
paid the guy. We're
Okay.
like, here's the money. And we were out of that place,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dude, let's take a quick intermission. I'm gonna get you a lighter. I'm gonna take a piss. Is that chill?
Cool. Yeah. Just something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And whether you don't really care who sees it, but
It's the thing is, in a way, I do feel obligated because
you feel obligated to do this?
Fuck yeah. Because the thing is, you guys are so fucking dope that if I don't do this, I just failed an entire community of people. The thing is, I have to bring you guys and as many people that I think are dope and would be willing to do something like this,
Yeah.
just on this. You know what I mean? Like, this is, in my eyes, this is a piece of history. And it's a really fun piece of history to not be involved in, but be involved in a sense of me trying to reach out to you guys and get you guys to come on and to fucking film this.
You're the librarian, bro.
I'm trying to be.
You're
I'm trying to be.
You're the historian.
I'm trying to be.
But the funny thing is in doing so, you become the most historically significant figure out of anybody, right? Because no one would be on this show if it wasn't for you. You're the real star.
I disagree. I think it just takes I just think it takes the right time. Like somebody willing to say, okay, you know what, it's Friday evening, I'm gonna put 2 hours aside, we're gonna get you to come on, we're gonna get you to talk, we're gonna see what's up with you. Because the thing is, with you in particular coming on, you're touching a different base of people. You know what I mean? And same thing with the people I had on Monday and the people I had on Sunday. Those are all touching a different base of people in SLO County. And that's the main goal, bro. And I wouldn't have you on unless you were dope, in my opinion.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, bro. I
For
appreciate
sure.
you coming on. Good shit, good shit.
Yeah.
Are you living in Osos right now?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been living, me, my roommate Will, and Trevor Butler as well.
Got it.
Who is right now doing basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. We've all been roommates for the last few months. And, I was probably there 6 months ago. We live on the corner of Pine and Los Osos Valley Road on a 6-acre lot that has about, I'd say, roughly 14 abandoned houses on it. Most of them are completely run down and not habitable at all. I'm talking trees growing through them, filled with trash, been broken in over the years. There's actually a couple of houses on the property that are super nice, and we've been lucky enough to find our way into one of them. The property, as of about 2 weeks ago, actually sold, and 10 days ago we were served our 60-day eviction notice. So I will be moving soon, along with everybody else on the property, because that plot of land will be eventually redeveloped, probably through Kreiser Construction, which is just a contractor in Los Osos. But we will be throwing, this goes out to everybody, a going away party for the compound. Date has yet to be decided. It's going to be for the books. So we're getting kicked out, but we're going to make the best out of it. And the funny thing about that house too is, since it's getting torn down, we never had to pay a security deposit. We could do anything we want. There have been nights where we were punching holes through the walls and shooting bows and arrows and stabbing the walls and cutting them with swords. But yeah, it's all coming to an end soon. But I mean, nothing is forever, dude. In terms of human life, you know.
There's no way in hell you guys weren't cracking up, stabbing a fucking wall with this sword. Like, you guys were probably like, yo, like, watch this. And then, like, charging into a wall with a sword.
Dude, actually, that reminds me of a really funny story that involves Trevor Butler and my father, too. And this was back when we were all in middle school. And Trevor was best friends with my little brother, Rowan, who is just 16 months younger than me. So we're super close in age. And we were all hanging out at my house one night, and it must have been like a Wednesday or some shit, because my dad was out at pool, and me and Trevor started wrestling. And I mean, you remember back in 8th grade, like a 1 year advantage, it was big. Like when you were in 8th grade, you were bigger and stronger than 95% of the 7th graders. Well, Trevor was always tough. And actually, dude, I don't know if you know this, but he is number 1 in his platoon for physical fitness. So he is the most elite, most physically fit soldier in his platoon at basic training. Like on his test, he scored amazingly high. But back to my story, we were wrestling and Trevor picked me up, and Trevor was always the toughest kid, dude. He picked me up and tackled me into my wall in my hallway, and I went through the wall, dude. Like, there was literally an Isaac-sized hole in the drywall in my hallway of the house that my dad rented, and we were like, fuck, dude, this is not good, because my dad was going to come home and he was going to beat all our asses, metaphorically, maybe me physically. So what we did is, there was a bookshelf down the hallway. We took the bookshelf and dragged it down the hall in front of the hole in the wall to hide the hole. A couple hours later, my dad comes home from pool. He got dropped off by his friend, and he had been drinking. So me and Trevor, like in our plan that we had put together, started wrestling with my dad and attacked him when he came in. Because I mean, my dad had me when he was 20 years old. Like, so my dad's always been super young.
Yeah.
And he was throwing us around on the couch and shit. And he went to bed. And then when he woke up in the morning, we were like, Dad. And Trevor's like, Pete, you came home drunk from the bar last night, and you threw Isaac into the wall and put a hole in the wall. And he believed us, dude. And we got away with it. My dad patched up the hole in the wall. I think my girlfriend told him like a couple months later that it was actually me and Trevor, but at that point he wasn't pissed, and so it was a clean getaway, dude. It was the heist.
That's fucking crazy. That's honestly insane. How did you guys manifest that?
Dude,
he believed your asses?
Mansplain, manifest, manipulate.
What's mansplain?
Mansplain? It's like an idea, I guess you could say, where it's like if a dude explains something in like a sexist or privileged way because he's a dude. It's a term, you know, like used by a lot of people that are concerned with social equality and whatnot, you know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably not the best person to explain to you what mansplaining is.
Oh, mansplaining.
Mansplaining, yeah. Like, it's explaining, only mansplaining.
Got it. Okay. No, I can visualize it. I thought you were saying, like, I thought I heard a different word. Okay. But, like, now I get it.
You were thinking, like, something sexual.
Explaining. It's different.
Exactly. Yeah.
Different.
But, yeah, no, I just... I guess I can be a good liar when I want to be, and I know my dad, so I tricked his ass, and I got away with that one. I didn't get away with everything with my dad. My dad's like, he's very smart, so I got caught most of the time whenever I did anything bad.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't have a whole lot of rules for me, so it's like I was really doing bad stuff when I got caught. Another story... my dad ended up marrying this girl later on, but he got together with my now stepmom, Kelly, and that was my first job, was at her parents' restaurant in Morro Bay, Rose's Landing. And dude, many people have worked at Rose's Landing over the years. I mean, me, Trevor, Raymond. I mean, I would say like 20 to 40% of anyone that went to Morro Bay High. And gosh, I totally forget the story I was going to tell, dude.
Did you watch Trevor's interview?
I did not watch Trevor's interview. No, I didn't.
Are you someone that like watches or like can listen to something for like an extended period of time?
Dude, I've never watched like a whole interview from the podcast, but I've watched like the skits and the Yeah, I've definitely seen the skits and like the highlights and shit you post.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. What made you want to come on? Because you're such a random person to, like, come on, but I know I needed you to,
Dude, you asked me at the bar one night, actually. You're like, do you want to come on the podcast? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
And, honestly, dude, like, not that I didn't want to come on the podcast, but I was pretty indifferent about it. But if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. So, you know. It was you that made this happen.
That's funny.
But like, I honestly, dude, I just wanted to come on and play like my stupid song. Like, I felt like that was the best thing I could bring to the table for the interview. Because I think that there's a lot of other people that have had a lot, you know, more interesting lives than me.
I don't even think it's about that necessarily. I think it's just about like right now I'm entertained by like the way you're talking, if that makes sense. Like the thing is, you're just like talking in like a chill manner, and I'm able to just kind of like chill and follow along and like learn.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, have you had like interviews that like you're like you haven't really been into that much, or have you?
Honestly, no, not really, because I hit people up and I'm like, yo, like, do you want to do a podcast? You know what I mean? And it's either a yes or a no. And like the yeses that come through, it's like, I'm interested, like, let's hear what you got to say. Because there's no way, like, you're not doing nothing for fun. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing shit. Like, what do you do for fun, even? You don't just sit around, right?
No, I don't like to sit around, dude. You got to keep it moving.
You're doing an adventure tomorrow. You're going on a fucking ride.
I am. I do. I ride motorcycles for fun a lot.
That's sick.
I got my first bike like maybe a year ago. I always wanted one. My dad always rode motorcycles growing up and always wanted to be like my dad. I finally had enough money to afford one, and so yeah, the plan is tomorrow to go up to Big Sur, ride up there, and then go to Big Sur River Gorge and go swimming. I've never been there either. Just a quick ride with a couple of dudes that I know.
Have you ever been to Salmon Creek?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, dude, Salmon Creek is the first place I ever did mushrooms and tripped. And I tried to camp there too, because you can actually camp at Salmon Creek legally. Like, I had done all my research. I'd gotten a fire permit. It was like an online quiz that you took, and then you were able to have a fire out in the wilderness there. And we had set up our campsite, like, okay. I mean, how long has that been in this hot garage?
Not too long, actually. Since a couple Thursdays ago.
I mean, it really didn't matter what your answer was. I'm gonna drink it anyways.
I'll pour you a little bit. I'll pour myself a little bit too. Low key, this is my pregame to that party. So like,
the Cabernet.
No. Just
This
interview is my fucking pregame.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I gotta be a little saucy, and like, I'm gonna try and like, I know you got shit to do tomorrow, but I'm gonna say, hey dude, like, you want to drink a little wine?
Dude, I'll make it happen tomorrow. But yeah, I have to. I'm leaving at 7 a.m. So I gotta keep it together tonight. Well, that day at Salmon Creek, and it was for my little brother's birthday. I think he was maybe turning 18 at the time. This was my fault. I decided to set up my campsite right at the base of the watering hole, like where the waterfall comes down into, and there's that pool that people can swim into.
Yeah.
Dude, I set up my campsite like right next to it. We got there like early in the morning. By mid-morning, every 15 minutes there was someone walking through our campsite. And I had people coming up to me telling me I couldn't camp there and like arguing with me. And at this point I had taken mushrooms. So I'm like talking to people and like watching their eyes like kind of like move around a couple inches to the left, to the right, up and down. And eventually we ended up packing all our stuff in the car and moving up to like, what is it, Plaskett Creek, like a dirt fire road up there.
Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, I have been to Salmon Creek. I've also caught crawdads there too.
Yeah, no, and I think I know exactly what you're talking about. The right before Plaskett, that fire road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of like windy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like taking a sedan's kind of sketchy up it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the best place to camp in Big Sur, or at least it has been. I haven't been up there in a couple of years now.
Dude, we tried going recently for like our like annual like dirty dungeon trip.
Yeah.
And gated off, closed, like
that road, or
yeah.
No way.
I don't know if I mean this was in April. I don't know if anything changed in the last 2 months, but kind of crazy. But dude, do you have a flip phone? Was that making that noise?
This was making the noise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't. I do not have a flip phone.
I was like,
do I look like the flip phone type?
No. Well, that'd be a flex if you did, and two, I swear I heard that ringtone before on like a flip phone. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, that's fucking kind of dope if you have a flip phone. Like, that's a whole nother conversation to have.
It is.
Because you're just like, dude, like, I could see you being somebody, and I totally agree with you if you are, but somebody that's kind of like, yo, like, fuck all of this technology and, like, everything that happened in the last, like, 20 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely have an opinion on it. Like, I think that there's a lot of good out of it, but then also a lot of bad too, especially when it comes to like social interactions with people and dating too. And like, dude, the whole dynamics changed. Like, I mean, if, like I'm sure you know, like now, like you're with a chick and it's like you're texting her all the time, like always like having a contact. And like you really don't go like days without talking to someone you're interested in, or it's weird now, you know. But it's changed everything. But you have to be on board, dude, because if you try and like, if I didn't have a cell phone, if I didn't have a computer, like if I wasn't adept with technology, like I would get left in the dust, you know. Yeah. Especially like in like the business world and like trying to get a job, like you have to be able to use a computer and respond and be readily available. That's really what I feel has changed the most with like the rapid change in technologies. It's like you can always get a hold of somebody now, and if you can't, like you should be worried. And that wasn't always the case. Like just like 25 years ago, the only way you could get a hold of someone was if they were at home.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me to even think living in like a society where that's not possible. Like you go downtown SLO and you can't find your friends because they don't have their cell phone. Like, dude, imagine being downtown SLO without your cell phone.
Kind of difficult, huh?
I feel like it'd be impossible, dude. You'd be lost.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just went primal. You know,
you start like running around on like all fours like a gorilla. You're skipping lines, like pushing your way past people, like no one wants to touch you because you're literally like drooling out the mouth.
Yeah, and sweating profusely.
Yeah, and like you don't have a hat on, and like your hair is like wet in your face, like above your eyes.
Yeah, you probably just end up at the creek. I mean, like that's where the most primal nights always end up.
You've done that before? You've ended up at the creek?
Yeah.
Like stayed the night there?
I've never stayed the night at the creek. No, I mean I've been at the creek at like 2 or 3 a.m. and been like, oh my god, I need to go home right now. Like,
how do you get home?
Dude, it just always worked out.
Really?
It's just always worked out. Yeah, I've never had to walk home. That's always the last resort.
So I noticed earlier when we were talking about semen, you were like, yeah, like I've came in like 6 girls, but at the same time, like I've only really have came in people that I've like had sex with more than once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's interesting. Like so you've had sex with 6 partners?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like intimate relationships. You don't really do the one night stand. You don't go like.
Yeah. Well, I guess not that I wouldn't, but in my experience, like the one time I kind of did that, I ended up regretting it.
Why?
Like when I just didn't feel good about it, you know, the next day. And like I'm gonna leave out some of the details just for like respect wise on other people, because it is a small community here, you know, for sure. But the one time I was intimate with a girl that I really wasn't into at all, like it ended up being in the end a bad experience for many reasons. And I learned that like, well, like for me personally, like it's a bit more meaningful than just sex, and I get that it's not like that for everybody, and that's totally cool. And like especially women, it's like, even though like I mean there's been like so many like pushes and strives for equality between the genders, it's like I feel like that's somewhere where the social stigma still remains, where it's like girls aren't allowed to be as sexually free and experimental as guys are. And like, dude, that shouldn't be like that at all. Like, that's a huge double standard. And that's like coming from someone that's like somewhat conservative or moderate too, I would say. But that's just me personally. What about you?
And what? You then have to redirect the question so I hear the question and I can like formulate an
okay.
answer.
I mean, what is sex to you? Like,
yeah, in a way, what you said, like I wish both parties could just fucking do it, you know what I mean? But I mean, my ideal situation in just like a world that doesn't exist. And I've always said this, but if a guy thinks a girl's attractive and a girl thinks the guy's attractive, I wish both parties would fuck each other. And like not play games, no bullshit, no lying, no flexing, no simping, no this, no that.
Yeah.
Like people aren't breaking their fucking backs for each other. You know what I mean? Like I wish there was. I literally wish it was as simple as, hey, I think you're attractive. That'd be cool if you think I'm attractive. Like we should, you know what I mean? Like at least like.
But it's not, dude, and that's what's fucked up. And I agree with you. It's more of like a game, like. No matter how you really look at it, like you have to play your cards right. You know you can't act too interested at times.
I don't like that.
And there's all like these social norms like dictating it. And honestly, dude, like truly though, if you just like are yourself, it's like you're gonna find eventually the person that you know that vibes with you the most. And if your methodology like puts off other people, well then fuck them, because they're not worth your time anyway. And I respect that, but like if you're like trying to get out there and like sleep with as many women as possible, like you're playing a game, dude. You know what I mean? Like you're not being yourself.
You want to hear a really gamey thing that just happens? Like, literally this week.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I'm botching the story a little bit, but my memory was they said something to us first. Like a group of girls.
So you were the group of dudes.
I was with 2 other dudes and she was with like 2 other girls.
Yeah.
And it could have been we said something first, but my memory, I want to say they said something first. That's what like got our attention. We went over like
exactly
small talk, like what's your name, blah blah blah, like where do you go to school, like what are you guys up to tonight, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And like long story short, like and it was a quick story, like it was just small talk, and then I thought this girl was super attractive, and I was like I added her on Snapchat, right?
Which that whole social media aspect plays in too.
Because I was like, dude, I want to hit up this girl and in the future and potentially link up. And then I gave her my Snapchat. Like, she gave me her phone. I typed in my username, like, clicked add, whatever. And I was like, dude, like, super dope, super pretty girl. Like, I can't wait to hit this person up in the future. And, like, you know, regardless as friends or potentially, like, more than friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're open to anything. You're just going with the flow.
Exactly. And then I get home and I like pull out my phone and I'm like, dude, like that's dope. I'm gonna pull up Snapchat. My ass is blocked already. And it's like, why do you even give me your phone to add me on Snapchat? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, the game thing, and like coming back to what I said, if you think someone's attractive and hopefully they think you're attracted back, I think you guys should just fucking fuck or hang out or talk, you know? Like, yeah. I don't like the game thing and like the flexing and the validation factor and like, oh, I'm gonna, you know what, like this guy was mean to me 2 weeks ago, so tonight I'm gonna be a douchebag to 10 guys. Yeah. Like I've never understood that and I've never gotten that, and like at the end of the day, like I just think you're a jerk for doing that.
Yeah, dude.
Because I don't think I've ever done that to somebody. Like, no. Just block them on Snapchat.
And like it's funny too, because it's like that whole like idea of people being brave behind the screen, you know what I mean? Like, she couldn't just say like, oh no, like I'm not interested in person.
Yeah.
Which, and it's just like, it's really not that hard to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, that's...
But it's like, dude, it's like, also, it's like, what did people do before Snapchat?
It was different. Know? I feel like what you just said would happen more, where it's like, oh, hey, like, sorry, I'm not interested.
The game has changed.
Yeah.
The game has changed entirely, dude. And it's like, I'm over here, bro, and I don't even use Snapchat. Yeah. And like, I mean, I have one, and it's like, I have multiple times, like wondered, dude, maybe I should have a Snapchat, because I've had girls ask me, oh, what's your Snapchat? I'm like, I don't know. Here's my number, but... Yeah. That's just like not keeping up with the times, you know what I mean, dude? And like also like as far as like relationships go and just love and like sexual life, it's like things have definitely also changed from high school a bit too, as far as it's like it's more about like what you have going on in your life now too, and it's like the people you're seeing are asking you those questions, and it's not just all like looks and personality. It's more like where you stand socially, because it's like, even though like we live in a society where you can move up and down from each social class, like there's definitely like distinct social classes where people are living different lifestyles, you know? And I've been able to see like that. Like, I grew up in the Midwest, poor as fuck, and then I've been as lucky to live in Montana and, you know, been spoiled and had a car bought for me. And it's like there's different lifestyles, and it plays into people who interact with one another, and it's just like this whole like ecosystem and stuff. And then there's people like you and me too, at least I feel like, who don't really care about your social class. It's more like who you are as a human being, you know? And that's why, like, I've got friends that run, you know, companies, and I've got friends that are homeless too. And also, like, your show, it's definitely had a wide array of characters on it too.
You've seen a couple of the people?
I've seen a couple of the people. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing that gentleman that passed away, Mojo,
R.I.P. Mojo, for real, R.I.P. Mojo.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I'd ever seen him was on the show. You know what I mean? And then I'm not going to talk on it because I didn't know the man.
Yeah.
But that was one of the ones I saw. And then Eli and Luke. Yeah.
Or no.
Or it was Raymond and Luke,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it was Raymond and Luke. And then Trevor too.
Yeah.
You've definitely had a lot of different cats on the show.
Cats, for sure, bro. They have claws. They got claws, for sure.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny, dude. Dude, do you see yourself ever, like... Do you see yourself being rich one day? I can see you being rich.
That's the plan, dude. I mean, I'm not setting out to, be the next Donald Trump or Warren Buffett, but
yeah,
I'm definitely hoping to like have enough money to be able to take my family on vacation and shit, and buy the shit that I want. And I mean, it's just I think anyone could do it, dude. And that's one of the things I love about this country, that if you put the hard work in and you give it your hardest, it's like you'll get lucky, because the thing with getting lucky is the harder you work, the luckier you get. So I hope the plan is to make six figures, at least $100,000 a year, and I would be happy with that. And that's why I'm going to college. That's why I'm taking all these steps to try and make that happen. And hopefully it does, because it may not, and if it doesn't, then I may not be fulfilled in life. But I feel like being happy is this weird balance of not staying stagnant and working towards your goals, but also like being content with where you are too. And because it's like, dude, people always want more, you know what I mean? It's like you think I'll just be happy if I can have that car, I'll just be happy if I can have that girl, and then it's like you get those things and you want more, so it's like you're never going to be happy if you think that I'm going to be rich one day, so I work towards that, but that's not like what I'm trying to like base my philosophy around, And dude, honestly, like a big part of it for me too is like I just want to be able to like give back to really my family and close friends more than anything. Like, dude, my dad was 19 years old when he got my mom pregnant with me. Like, he had to work his dick off to raise 3 kids, you know what I mean? And he never had the advantages I have as far as time and shit to go to college. And my little sister's pregnant now too, and she's 18 years old, so she's gonna have to put her professional career on hold to raise her child, which is her decision, and I really admire her for that. But at the same time, it's like it motivates me to try and be financially successful and put together as possible to help them out in the future, because they're just trying to beat the system. The system's just fucked. You can either say fuck the system and live off it, be a slave to it, or try and overcome it. And by the system, I mean like the socio-economic system of the United States, which has like so many different facets to it. But
in the thing, like, that's all you have to say, and I understand exactly what you're saying, because not a day goes by where I'm like, dude, we ain't living right.
No, we ain't. And bro, and like that's part of it too, is it's like part of me thinks too that like this is all so fucking stupid, and really we should just all be brachiating from trees and like living like primates, like how our bodies were really meant to live, you know, because I don't know, dude, it's just a weird ass like thing that happened with humans, like where our brains and like our technology is evolving faster than evolution itself. So now we're like left in this weird, like, I don't know, like Twilight Zone, where it's like we live in the society, but this isn't really what was intended for us. But I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's what you said is deep on many, many levels, because the thing is, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Because
dude.
what are you gonna do? Like, are you not gonna invent an MRI machine? You know what I mean? Or like, are you not gonna invent this certain medicine to like keep people alive? Or like, are you not gonna invent like a fucking Ferrari to drive in? You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna keep on. What up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Do you know Squid?
Dude, I know Isaac.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
It's you'll like this conversation if you want to come kick it for a second. But it's a crazy. I see what you're saying. You know, like that shit's just gonna keep on happening. But the thing is, humanity and humans and culture, it's never gonna be able to keep up with it. So at the end of the day, yeah, we're left in that situation where like, oh fuck, wouldn't it be easier just living butt ass naked in a fucking tree branch, like,
and
under the sun?
I love that. Like, my favorite subject throughout college has been anthropology,
Really?
Cultural and physical. But I want a job, bro. So that's why I'm doing business. You know, I'm casting aside what I love to just, you know, step in line and, you know, be a part of a cog in the machine, so to say. But
and it's that also ties into the fact of like, oh fuck, like, why are we even here? You know what I mean? Like, there has to be something that happens when we die, right? Otherwise this whole like rat race and like formula would just be so pointless. Or who knows, it might be pointless and that was the point of life, just to try and have as much fun as possible and like level yourself up, and then you die and it's over and you never have to experience this shit ever again.
God, bro, that just got heavy. Now we're talking about creation theory. I mean, dude, I feel like everyone has a different reason for living. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like some people, like, I mean, like really when you like get down to like a biological point, it's to fuck and reproduce. I mean, that's like every animal's primary goal. But also like, yeah, to have as much fun, to leave a legacy, to, you know, that's kind of the cool thing about life, is you get to pick what you want to do with it. And I mean, I guess personally for me is it's just like I want to keep shit passed on, like be it through family or through legacy, or, you know, like leave a mark on the earth. Like I was here at one point in time, you know, in this crazy long history. But I mean, as far as like after death, dude, I really have no idea. Like personally, I'm kind of a spiritual person. I definitely like don't abide by any like, you know, set religion, but the philosophy I've always had is like there's three things, there's three possibilities. One, there's a God and he's a just God and there's an afterlife, and as long as you live a virtuous life and are a good person, you'll get into the afterlife, you'll get into heaven, so to speak. Two is there's no afterlife and all you can do is be a good person and live a virtuous life. And then three, and this isn't like my philosophy, like this comes from, I don't know, like Greek or Roman, but there is a God, but he's not just, he's a son of a bitch, and he's only going to let you into heaven if you worship him and devote your life to him. And you know what? Fuck that guy. I'd rather burn in hell.
Same.
You know? So
Same.
All you can really do is live a virtuous life, dude, and just what brings meaning to you. And for me, that's trying to leave my mark and just make sure the people I love and care about are, you know, taken care of.
You bought fake lean off of somebody. And you said 3 years later they gave you your money back?
Yeah, that happened to me. So I bought fake lean. It was, maybe sophomore year. It was like when lean was all that, bro. Everyone was doing it. And I went over to the dude's house. They were in real bottles, but the seal had been broken. And I was like, yeah, totally. Anyway, I get home and I drink it. A couple hours pass by. I know it's fake. I know it's not real. And I hit the guy up. And he's like, sorry, bro. Tough luck. Go fuck yourself. And I was pissed off, bro. Especially because I thought I was way smarter than the person that ripped me off. So, like, I was like, dude, I just got duped by this guy. I'm an idiot. And then I was pissed about that for a long time, bro. And then I saw the guy, maybe it was like a year and a half ago, 3 or 4 years after this had happened. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. Here's your money. Like, I was fucking around and, like, I made a mistake. You're my friend, and I shouldn't have done that to you. And I forgave him. And that's the dude I'm going on the motorcycle ride with tomorrow, actually. Taylor.
Let's take a quick pause. So you got sold fake lean. In the moment, were you like, dude, I'm gonna see this guy again, like I'm gonna like fucking say some shit to him, or were you just like, oh, I lost $60?
Yeah, basically, dude. I mean, honestly, like, you gotta realize, bro, I was 15, 16 years old. I'm almost 25 now, so maybe I was a little bit older. I don't know. It was a long time ago, regardless, is what I mean. So my decision-making skills were definitely not as adequate as they are now. But even back then, dude, like, I've always found that, like, not that you shouldn't ever stand up for what you believe in, but to just take the high road and avoid conflict and let things go and be the bigger person and just say, okay, dude, like, you did that, well, fuck you, I'm never gonna fuck with you again.
That's taking
like,
the high road.
That's the high road. That's the high road
That's
for
the
me.
high road.
You know what I mean? Like, having an ego and, you know, saying like, oh, I'm gonna get this person back, I'm gonna fuck them up, you know, like, I'm gonna ruin their life. It's never gonna get you far. And, like, really the only way I could ever see myself being like that is if, like, you fucked over my family member super hard.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm a little bit protective like that. But yeah, that's also, like, part of my life philosophy is to just take the high road and let shit go and not be petty and, like, not let your ego lead you to do fucking stupid things.
That's kind of cool you accepted an apology 3 years later.
Yeah. It's a funny story, dude. I was my ego was hurt a lot that I had gotten ripped off by Taylor, for sure.
And now you're going on a ride tomorrow.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go ride motorcycles in Big Sur.
First time hanging out?
No.
Okay.
I've gone on a couple motorcycle rides with him before. He's one of my homies that I like in small doses, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, anything else you want to talk about, dude, before we wrap up the interview?
I say we did a solid amount of time, bro, and I feel like I got the experience that I wanted. We talked about some dope shit. I learned some shit. Like, bro, like, honestly, dude, thank you for coming on. It means a lot. I appreciate you.
All right, dude.
Yeah. Yes, sir, bro. Firm handshake. I see you. I was going for the top up, and you're like, nah, bro, like, we're doing
No, let's
handshake.
lock.
Yeah.
Lock it.
We locked it for a second. All right, bro. Dude, I appreciate you, man.
Nice,
I appreciate you. You killed this shit. You honestly fucking killed this shit. For real.
Good, dude. Thank you. I
What-
appreciate that.